Alright. All aesthetics, everything regarding how things look is going, is thrown out of the window. This is my face, these are my glasses, and I'm just rambling here. You know, that's what I do. Why? Well, because language can be useful. Language can clear up your mind. You know, if you for the last couple of days, I've literally just spent the days, learning from some masters. Learning from some people who are really, really good at music. One in particular, which I'm not gonna name because, well, we all know who that is. Anyways, and it's not me; it's somebody else. Of course, unless you're some sort of a spiritual master or whatever, and you see all things as one, then in that case it would be me. But in reality, it's not. So I've thrown out visual art. I've taken in music as my Lord and Savior, and now I'm only composing and only doing music in my life. Um, which is funny because by throwing those things out, I somehow managed to make even less music than I did before, or roughly the same, which is about one track a day. And it's not that much, but it's something. And I've been trying to make those tracks longer and bigger, like vertically stacked information, whatever, right? I've tried making them a bit more complex, perhaps you could say, make them more complex and more sculpted. And I've stopped this speed running process because you can only have speed if you're somewhat fluent in the process, and the only way to get fluent in the process is by doing something a lot, constantly, a lot, many, 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 many times. So I had managed to somehow be able to do that on the arpeggiating device, and now I transferred to a new environment, which is Ableton, which is very good. In fact, Ableton rocks really, and so now I'm there, and I'm yet to actually master it to to a degree that I would be able to make tracks fluently. And I might be going back to the sequencer because I really enjoy the interface of the sequencer. I think it's fabulous. I think it's great. Um, you have all these buttons and knobs and things that you can tweak, and you can do multiple things simultaneously. For instance, you could be tweaking two parameters like simultaneously. Let's say a filter and a delay or something like that, and recording it. That's making the envelope, right, simultaneously. So it's just a faster workflow. You know, with Ableton, I think I might need to utilize some kind of shortcuts or something like, which I haven't learned, which I have did learn a couple on the sequences. And um, yeah, the sequencer is with Ableton, it's kind of like very very detailed process. It's like very that kind of thing. It's so much interesting because the simpler the interface, the more sort of like the humanity you can put into it. The simple with take piano for instance. It's buttons essentially. And the way you press every each key, you can say something with that. Whereas, for instance, to master some kind of a knob or some kind of a system, like I know modular synthesizer, you'd likely, at least it seems to me, it would take a bit longer probably. It also depends on what kind of human you are. For instance, if you speak in code fluently or whatever, you would have far less difficulty doing it than somebody else. It's really just a question of getting used to it. So visual art's thrown out of the window, uh, unless it's for the purpose of creating album art. And also, these days, just trying to learn from other people and whatever, I said that I was losing myself, because I do believe, at some extent, I don't know whether we're born tabula rasa, so to speak, right, as a clean slate, or not. And it doesn't matter in this scenario, anyways. But at some point you do collect some kind of you become a system, to a degree, and living as a system, you have certain parameters as well, right? Also, the hypothesis, you become what you do. So, let's say I'm using Ableton a lot, then I become Ableton. I function as an Ableton. I can make these envelopes and whatever within my life. And if I played guitar more, I would be like a guitar. But being that I play all those instruments, I'm a combination of that, which is totally great. I like music also because you don't need to damage or affect the environment in an irreversible way. You can just fill the room with sound. You don't need to fill it with paint, which you would either need to repaint, or essentially it's temporary in its best sense.